Good evening, and welcome to another episode of Codo Cinema, the podcast show where I talk about movies. I bid you welcome as your host, Mark Codo, aka Codoman. It's showtime. That is right, folks. We are back for another episode of Codo Cinema for the month of October for Codo Cinema Horror Month. And if you heard that quote right, yep, I am referring to Beetlejuice himself saying that quote. It's showtime, which means it's time to get on with the show. Am I right, Mike?
That's right, Mark.
That's right, folks. Mike, my brother Mike Codo, is back on board with me for an episode of Codo Cinema. Plus, speaking of Beetlejuice, we just gotta make sure we don't say his name three times, because you know what's gonna happen if we say his name three times. Because you know what's gonna happen. Because you know what's gonna happen if we say Beetlejuice three times.
Uh-oh.
Apparently, this time around, we're going to talk about a Beetlejuice movie. So, with that being said, I thought it would be fun to talk about the Beetlejuice sequel titled Beetlejuice Beetlejuice from the legendary Tim Burton.
That's right, folks.
What are you doing here, Beetlejuice?
Well, I'm just doing an impression of Michael Keaton's character, Beetlejuice.
Mike, I know that's you doing that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's basically true, all right.
Beetlejuice. He's obviously probably the best character to come out of Beetlejuice because that's the title of the movie.
Yeah. I mean, Michael Keaton plays the title character.
Exactly. I mean, he literally nails that role pretty good.
You can definitely tell that he is having a lot of fun playing this character.
Especially from the first film, too. And yes, and also to bring this up, Mike and I have also seen the first movie as well, which came out in 1988.
It was aired on different channels, most notably with ABC Family, but up until it turns to Freeform.
Right. Now, of course, with the sequel, to which this is for this episode, we're going to talk about the sequel, Beetlejuice Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice Beetlejuice is a 2024 American Gothic dark fantasy comedy horror film directed by Tim Burton from a screenplay by Alfred Goff and Miles Miller, which is a sequel to the 1988 film Beetlejuice. The film stars Michael Keaton in the title role, along with Winona Ryder and Catherine O'Hara, reprising their roles alongside new cast members, which includes Justin Theroux, Monica Bellucci, Jenna Ortega, and William Dafoe. And set more than 3 decades after the first film, it follows Lydia Dietz, now a mother, struggling to keep her family together in the wake of a loss as Beetlejuice returns to haunt her. Sounds like an interesting plot right there, but let's be honest. The movie's plot, the story of this movie is all over the place. Because I feel like there's like different subplots going on.
Yeah.
Like we have the loss of Lydia's grandpa. We also have, Beetlejuice, basically quote unquote stalking Lydia. We also have, the mother daughter situation, and then of course you also have the Beetlejuice's wife coming back. Well, Beetlejuice's ex-wife coming back. That's a lot of subplots in that movie. Coming to think of it.
Yeah. I mean, my goodness.
My goodness, there is a lot going on in that movie. But before we dive into the breakdown of this movie, yes, we will be breaking down this movie. Let's go further more into the background of this. So, following the success of Beetlejuice, plans for a sequel were announced by the Geffen Film Company, its original producers, and little materialized until 2011 when Warner Brothers Pictures hired Seth Grahame-Smith to pitch a story which went through numerous revisions before being shelved in late 2019. Although, to be quite honest, we didn't really think this movie would get a sequel.
Yeah, I mean, Why get a sequel?
I don't think the first film was teasing a sequel of some sorts, even though the film ends with, Beetlejuice's head getting shrunk.
Yeah.
Hey, this might be a good look for me. And then, of course, Lydia Dietz, jumping in the line, dancing the night away, I guess.
Especially the football players dancing in the background.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I wasn't really expecting a sequel, although yet again, the first film was a huge hit, was a hit.
It was, and it also won an Academy Award for Best Makeup.
It definitely deserved that award because the makeup looks real good.
Also, other actors includes Alec Baldwin and Gina Davis are not in the second film.
Yeah, I know that move in the sequel, we don't see Alec Baldwin nor Gina Davis from the first movie.
No, absolutely not.
But let's move forward. Well, anyway, let's move forward. So, plans for a sequel were revived in early 2022, with Burton set to co-produce with Brad Pitt's studio Plan B Entertainment. And after the casting process finished in early 2023, principal photography supervised by cinematographer Harris Zambar Locals took place in parts of England and US from May to November, despite being suspended for 4 months due to the 2023 actors' strike. The official title was revealed in February 2024. During post production, editing was handled by Jay Prichidney, and the score was composed by longtime Burton collaborator Danny Elfman. And it opened at the 81st Venice International Film Festival on August 28th of 2024, and it actually received generally positive reviews, and it grossed $452 million on a budget of $99 to $100 million. So that's a box office success right there.
Well, also a welcome return for Tim Burton.
That is true because Tim Burton, because here's the thing, Tim Burton kind of stepped down from, well, he had it. Here's the thing, Tim Burton has his fair share of ups and downs when it comes to making movies. In fact, around that time, his latest film project was 2019's live action remake of Walt Disney's Dumbo, which also, funny enough, featured Danny Elfman doing the music, and of course Michael Keaton playing a character in that movie as well.
Let's not forget, Danny DeVito is in this movie too.
That's right, because I completely forgot. Danny DeVito also makes a cameo in the Beetlejuice movie.
And speaking of collaborating, this is my second Tim Burton film overall in this episode.
That's right. This is me, Mike's second collaboration on talking about a Tim Burton movie. And here's the thing: when it comes to like the month of October, Mike and I we watch a lot of Tim Burton stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly his movies.
That's definitely true. And Tim Burton, I would say he's a very good filmmaker.
On his own level, he's pretty good.
He also done like short films too.
Right. He did the short film, like, for example, Frankenweenie and Vincent.
And of course, Pee-wee's Big Adventure film, to which it was Tim Burton's first film that he came off the heels with.
Yep. Also to mention is too, Jenna Ortega, who is in the Beetlejuice movie. She played Wednesday Addams in the Wednesday TV show, to which its second season dropped on Netflix, to which Tim Burton is also a part of too. Wednesday also helped revive Tim Burton's filming career as well.
Yeah.
So anyway, with that being said, let's get to the breakdown of this movie, shall we?
That's right.
So anyway, the movie is basically, the movie opens up with, just basically, the play set table, right?
Yes.
Or whatever that was it. A miniature play set table that is basically, the town of where this movie is at.
Yeah.
And then you got Danny Elfman's musical score playing in the background while the credits were also rolling too.
And of course you also see the return of the Geffen Company.
That's right. And also the movie, I mean, although the opening sequence doesn't really end with a spider or a bug or anything, because if you remember the first movie, the music stops after the music stops, and then like there's like a little bug or spider that comes onto the
it
playset.
was a spider.
Yep. But this time around, it just transitions into Lydia Deese being the host of her own chat show called Ghost House, with her partner Rory working as the producer. And of course, Lydia is being played by Winona Ryder, reprising her role from the first movie. And then Rory is being played by Justin Theroux, who is basically Lydia's current boyfriend and a television producer, inspired by the late Glenn Shadix's Otho Fenlock character from the original film. So the two are basically doing this chat show, kind of like it's almost like a Twilight Zone ish type of show, but this time inside a ghost house. And then, of course, in the middle of filming a segment, Lydia begins seeing Beetlejuice in the audience, coming to realize that Beetlejuice is basically stalking her at that point, like she's seeing things.
Yeah.
But of course, something else happens is that Lydia's stepmother, Delia, who is being played by Catherine O'Hara, tells her the story of how her father, Charles, had died in an accident involving a shark attack. To which, we're going to go off topic on this one. There is a scene where it's all in stop motion where uh, Lydia's mom tells Lydia about what happened to her father.
Yeah, her father actually got who was originally got her father was originally going to get killed in a plane crash by landing in the ocean by crashing into the ocean.
Yes, and apparently the father was coming home from a bird watch expedition.
But he was able to survive, including everyone else. But unfortunately, he gets eaten by a shark.
Yes, and to anybody who is listening will probably know who we're talking about, and of course, the actor who plays the father. Oh man, his what's it?
Jeffrey Jones.
Jeffrey Jones. Jeffrey Jones played Charles Dietz in the first movie, who has been killed by a shark following an airplane crash in the Pacific Ocean during his return from a bird watching trip. And as a result of this, throughout the movie, he is left without most of the upper half of his body in death. So we don't see his face, we don't see his upper body. We see like the lower part of his body, including the spine, including I'm pretty sure the spine as well, while blood is spewing out everywhere.
Pretty sure that movie deserves a PG-13 rating because of the blood was spewing out.
Well, I mean, it's Tim Burton. You know what you know what you're getting from a Tim Burton movie, I guess.
Even though Jeffrey Jones is not in this movie.
Yes, and apparently, yes, to anyone's knowledge, yeah, the reason why Jeffrey Jones is not in this movie because Jeffrey Jones, to anyone's knowledge, in 2002 he was arrested. He was arrested for possession of child sexual abuse material back in 2002. That's the reason why he's not in this movie. And apparently, his likeness is used in this movie through stop motion animation, which basically, describing the character's death.
I mean, Tim Burton has done stop motion films before.
Exactly. So at the very least, he was able to, make a stop motion animated sequence, just to, like how this event unfold for how Charles Dietz died.
Yes, I mean the stop motion looks very cool.
I think it's good that they used stop. I think that was the best route. In my opinion, that was basically the best route that they went with. And the fact, I mean, I feel like that was the best route they went with. I think many of us speculated that he was not going to be in this movie due to the legal issues and, of course, the controversy surrounding films he has made since the early 2000s due to his status as a registered sex offender. So that's like the reason why he is not in this movie. And then, of course, also around that time, Alec Baldwin he had legal issues surrounding the events on the Rust movie that he did, where he accidentally shot and killed cinematographer Helena Hutchins. There's another reason. There's like a lot of things going on. But of course, Jeffrey Jones's character, yes, Jeffrey Jones is not in this movie. Basically, it's just it's a stand-in for the character.
Right.
So it's a stand-in for the character, even though they used his likeness from the first movie to create the events of how Charles Dietz, Jeffrey Jones's character, died. So yeah, anyway, that's the whole background of Charles Dietz, Jeffrey Jones's character in that movie. But anyway, moving forward on the way to the Winter River located in Connecticut, the rest of the Dietz pick up Astrid, who is being played by Jenna Ortega, and she is basically Lydia's daughter from Princess Helena College, and they head off to Charles's funeral. Astrid had grown apart from her mother Lydia since Charles's death, and she doesn't believe in her mother's supernatural powers. And of course, once the funeral is over, Rory proposes to Lydia, asking her to marry him on Halloween night. Although initially, confused and didn't want to do it, she eventually agrees, causing Astrid to run away.
Riding her bike.
That's right.
And when Astrid was riding her bike, trying to get back to school, this reminded me of Pee Wee Herman from Pee Wee's Big Adventure film, where Paul Rubenson's character Pee Wee was riding his bike. It got me the Pee Wee vibes.
That is true. Also, something else to mention too, during the Charles's funeral, the choir was singing the Dale song from the first movie, which is basically the I think it's the Banana Boat song, which I'm pretty sure is the Banana Boat, I believe. But yeah, exactly. A cover of Dale, the Banana Boat song, performed by Alfie Davis and the Sylvia Young Theater School Choir, which was released on May 23rd, 2024. So they're basically, the cover of Dale, the Banana Boat song, which is actually funny enough, was played in the first movie when when I think it was
when Alec Baldwin and Gina Davis were trying to scare them.
Yeah,
Scare the other
I think
people.
that's what was going on. But except they were not only singing but dancing as one, but dancing as well.
And let's not forget one of the designs from the designs in the second Beetlejuice movie. It was in the first one.
Oh yeah, the art design, the art sculptures from the first movie makes an appearance.
While Catherine O'Hara was trying to give Astrid's attention.
Right.
You also see a footage of an archive footage picture of Jeffrey Jones's character during the funeral.
Right.
And let's not forget about Dolores, the introduction to Dolores.
Mm-hmm. Dolores, yes. And we get introduced to Dolores in the movie. So apparently, we see Dolores, like, we get introduced to Dolores in the afterlife, while this janitor, who's being played by Danny DeVito, he's basically, I think what was he, vacuuming or mopping or something, whatever that.
Danny DeVito portrays a janitor in another world whose soul is consumed by Dolores during her introduction.
Yeah, so apparently Danny DeVito got electrocuted by the water that is basically spilled on the floor, and of course the tragedy song by the Bee Gees starts playing, and this happens when the boxes started to like come apart, and we see all the body parts of Dolores, including her hand, that basically looks like Thing's wife, if Thing from the Addams Family had a wife.
Is that Thing's wife?
I don't know.
I
But of course, when the tragedy song is playing in the background, Dolores rebuilds herself using a staple gun to staple her entire the parts where she got chopped off,
including her ring finger.
Yes, her ring finger is in this movie, because if you also remember from the first movie, Beetlejuice was about to marry Lydia. She had a ring, and if you hear him say this line, he said this: "She meant nothing to me at all."
Oh,
which indicates that he's referring to Dolores in this movie.
yes. She's being played by Monica Bellucci.
Yes, Monica Bellucci plays Dolores, and I'll be honest, she looks like who am I thinking?
Sally.
Well, not only Sally, but Morticia.
Morticia.
Morticia from Addams Family. Because keep in mind, Jenna Ortega, who played Astrid in this movie, plays Wednesday Addams in the Wednesday show, and of course, yeah, I'm referring to Wednesday Addams is the daughter to Morticia.
Yeah.
I mean, it would have been interesting if Monica Bellucci played Morticia in the Wednesday show, but they got who
Catherine Zeta Jones.
Catherine Zeta Jones. Yeah, that's right.
And then the janitor wakes up to seeing Dolores, and he was like, "You're not supposed to be here. Don't make me tell you twice."
And she grabs she grabs the janitor by the throat, tells him, "Where is Beetlejuice?" And she sucks his soul out, and he ends up flat like a pancake.
Yep, and of course, ending the word tragedy.
Yep. And then, of course, we also get introduced to Beetlejuice once more, who is basically overseeing a group of shrunken head workers, but is still smitten by Lydia while having a coffee mug that says "World's Best Boss."
And that is Beetlejuice.
Yep. Beetlejuice sees Bob.
Yeah.
Jeez, Bob. Huh, you scared me right there.
Yeah, I mean, pretty sure those are stand-ins.
I'm pretty sure they're stand-ins. I don't know who were the actors involved, but
I wouldn't imagine if Johnny Depp, Brad Pitt.
I mean I don't know who were the stand-ins for the shrunken heads, but you gotta remember the callback from the first movie, because at the end of the first movie we see one dude with a shrunken head.
Yes, and Beetlejuice got his head shrunk too.
Actually, speaking of which, how did his head grow back?
Yeah, how?
I don't know, but it's Beetlejuice. You know he's gonna do some crazy shit.
Hey, my head grows back.
Ha ha ha! Very funny. All right, but anyway, Beetlejuice is being summoned by the afterlife detective named Wolf Jackson, who is being played by Willem Dafoe. And it was also funny too. Beetlejuice says this: "Let me take a wild stab, actor."
Yeah.
And then, of course, anyway, Wolf Jackson talks to Beetlejuice, and he's basically a former B movie actor now turned detective in the afterlife, who part of his head is blown off. Like we see that brain of his, part of his brain, just to he wanted to keep the stunt real. But of course, Beetlejuice is like, "Looks like it got a little too real for you, bub."
I'll be honest, William Dafoe is that was a good choice.
I mean, I think it was definitely a good choice to play the character.
Let's not forget the makeup.
Oh yeah, you could definitely tell right away that is obviously makeup for Willem Dafoe's character. And let's be honest, the makeup in this movie, the makeup, costumes, and set design, it feels like a B movie. Come to think of it,
Yes, Colleen Atwood did the costume design for Beetlejuice.
that is right. Now I gotta give this movie props for going in a more practical route, because it does feel more practical. Come to think of it.
And let's not forget about Beetlejuice's reaction of the picture of Dolores.
Yep, because apparently when Wolf Jackson shows Beetlejuice the picture of Dolores, his reaction, like his eyes and tongue, spring out. Like he's after seeing the picture of Dolores, like he literally screams. His eyes and tongue literally come out. Like he's basically creeped out by her. And Wolf Jackson tells Beetlejuice, "Recognize this, puss?"
Oh my goodness, it's Dolores.
Never seen that chick before in my life. and Wolf Jackson is like, really? So anyway, Wolf Jackson tells Beetlejuice that his former spouse, who he had met in Italy at the time of the Black Plague, Dolores Lefebvre, to which he actually talks in Italian. Beetlejuice, very impressive right there. Had escaped to the living world and had gone on a rampage, sucking the life out of the souls of the deceased in search of her former husband for revenge for killing her just before he died of the poison she had given him on their wedding day.
Oh boy.
Talk about a wedding crasher.
Yep. Also, Astrid meets up with this boy in the treehouse
Ah, yes, that is right.
after a bike crash.
Well, actually, before that, when Halloween arrives, Astrid comes across a box of her father, Richard's stuff. Richard had gone missing 2 years prior in the Amazon. Along with Richard's items, there is an ad to contact Beetlejuice. Well, that name does come back later. But anyway, Astrid discovers that Jeremy is in fact a ghost and had killed his. And then, of course, Astrid meets this boy, the boy Jeremy, who is in fact a ghost and had killed his parents 23 years ago and had killed himself when the police arrived to arrest him.
Oh boy.
Jeremy asks Astrid to accompany him to the afterlife to claim his life once more, and Astrid agrees in the hope that she can see her father's spirit. Astrid helps Jeremy get to the afterlife, reciting an incarnation from the handbook of the recently deceased. And yes, that is the same handbook from the first movie, which actually was in the hands of Gina Davis and Alec Baldwin's characters. Now, upon learning of Astrid's escape, Lydia half-heartedly summons Beetlejuice. Well, actually, upon learning, but actually before Lydia tries to go rescue Astrid, she and her boyfriend Rory, they get into a bit of an intervention with Beetlejuice.
Yes.
In the afterlife, because Rory said the Beetlejuice name 3 times, and the two get sucked into the playset table.
Yep, and it meets up in the office, and Lydia says Beetlejuice, and so
her mouth gets sewn shut, just like how Gina Davis's mouth got sewn shut
by
in
the zipper.
Yep. I forgot their names. I completely forgot the names that Gina Davis and Alec Baldwin played. What were their names? I completely forgot their names. Their names escaped me.
Hold on. Here we go. Adam and Barbara.
Adam and Barbara. There we go. Their names escaped me, but I know the actors who played the main characters. But anyway, while Beetlejuice was at that intervention with Rory and Lydia, he does his usual routine of being happy to have those two as like their partners in crime, so to say. And then of course, Beetlejuice's guts spilled out.
Yuck.
And then he does that weird face thing where the legs or tentacles come out of his face to scare them off. Hey, what do you think of this? You like it? Like something like that.
Yes.
And then of course there is a actual baby Beetlejuice
that came out of Lydia.
Yeah, that was. I mean, what Beetlejuice just did was a bit messed up, so to say.
Yeah, but that baby came back, but we're gonna get to that later.
Yep. So anyway, upon learning of Astrid's escape, Lydia Harley summons Beetlejuice to help get Astrid back, and Beetlejuice agrees on one condition.
Whoa.
What's the condition? To be married.
To be married, and let's not forget,
the juice is loose.
When Lydia says Beetlejuice 3 times, and he came out of the.
No, I know what you're talking about, yeah. But anyway, Lydia signs a contract agreeing to marry him. He's like, here you go, just sign your name right here. Any type of ride is fine. Oh, yep, there you go. So anyway, Lydia signs, and the pair arrive in the afterlife through a portal Beetlejuice had opened. I gotta say this: the afterlife in this movie, they really put a lot of work into that afterlife.
They really took their time with it.
Actually, speaking of which, if you notice in the afterlife, there's like different victims in the afterlife. Like we see a woman with her cats, which is basically animatronic cats, and they're all cuddling around her, like one of them is eating her legs,
Yep.
to which Beetlejuice was sitting next to, and Beetlejuice was like, I'm more of a dog person.
And then you also got a guy who's been eating hot dogs.
Too many hot dogs, just to say.
And then there's also another one with the guy who was with the surfboard.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, we also got another dude with a surfboard, and then also on top of that, there's also another guy who had his head chopped off during a mugshot, and then one of the afterlife officers brought in some protester covered in oil.
Oh.
Yeah,
And then
protesting. I guess the protesting oil.
yep. And let's not forget uh the dad, Lydia's dad.
Oh yeah, that's right. Charles Dietz
Yes.
walks around the afterlife, wondering what's going on, and of course,
And, he was in the dry cleaners.
dry cleaners, which that one dry cleaning dude gets sucked by Dolores while she's finding her wedding dress.
And of course, searching for Beetlejuice.
Yes, searching for Beetlejuice.
And speaking of which, Beetlejuice and Lydia are on the run.
Yes, Beetlejuice and Lydia are on the run, and of course,
they're searching for Lydia's daughter.
Yep. While that's going on, Beetlejuice had disguised the anxious Bob as himself as a decoy, which Wolf, who had discovered that Beetlejuice had brought a mortal to the afterlife, captures Bob and takes him to the police station where he gets his soul drained by Dolores. Oh, poor Bob.
Poor Bob.
Rest in peace, Bob.
Yep.
Yep. Oh man, it's like in Tim Burton's Batman where where the Joker has Bob.
Yeah.
And he shoots Bob, the henchman, right?
Bob? Gun.
And the Joker just shoots him. Poor Bob.
Yeah.
Oh man, poor Bob. But anyway, poor Bob. Okay, I don't know why. I don't know why I'm saying this, but like, I don't know how many Tim Burton movies where someone is named Bob.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know how many movies does Tim Burton. How many? I don't know how many Tim Burton movies where someone has the name Bob.
Yeah.
So anyway, just move forward. Anyway, just to move forward. So Jeremy takes Astrid to the afterlife bureaucracy, where he announces that he had tricked Astrid into coming with him, and the fact that he plots to exchange her life for his own, and Astrid is taken to the Soul Train on the way to the great beyond, where she will stay forever. And the Soul Train, there's soul music, right?
Yes, soul music.
I'm a soul man. Dun, 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 dun. And there's like hip hop disco music going on in the background, right?
Let's not forget about Astrid's father.
Oh, that's right. Astrid's father, Richard, spots his daughter and follows her to the train. And then, of course, Lydia and Beetlejuice arrive, and Lydia saves Astrid from the train just in time. And then Lydia and Astrid escape through a portal to Titan, which is basically, the desert planet.
Yes.
Which is basically, a cheap version, a cheap knockoff of Dune.
Yes.
Funny enough, the Dune movies came out in 2021 and 2024, by the way.
Yes.
But with a bigger budget.
That's right, folks.
And of course, the portal to Titan is the moon of Saturn and are attacked by a sandworm.
I'm actually glad they brought back the designs from the original film.
Yes, they brought back the original design from the first movie into the second movie. Like the sandworm makes a couple appearances in this movie.
To which, funny enough, Beetlejuice was eaten by the sandworm.
Yep.
From the first.
Yes, exactly. But we'll get to more of who gets eaten in this movie.
Yes.
But anyway, Richard manages to save Lydia and Astrid just in time. And of course, the three have a bit of a conversation. Until then, the three of them just sees Jeremy about to get his passport stamped to do his thing, right?
Yeah.
To do his thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
To his thing of like going into the afterlife,
Yeah.
And on top of that, what's also funny too is that Beetlejuice was the one who stamped Jeremy's passport.
Yeah.
It was like, here you go, here's a little something for you, pal. Here's a little something for you, pal. So anyway, so apparently Beetlejuice stamped Jeremy's passports, and instead of being I guess what was it, accepted or pass or something or an okay, right?
Yeah.
The stamp on the passport for Jeremy says shit out of luck.
Yep.
And it's like the dude's out of luck. And Beetlejuice, like Jeremy's like, wait, what? And Beetlejuice is like, later, sucker. and and of course, Beetlejuice threw Jeremy in eternal damnation, and Jeremy gets sent down to the fires of hell. And Richard, Lydia, and Astrid, the three of them see it all. Like you see the flames coming out of the ground when Jeremy gets sent down to hell,
And also,
basically, Beetlejuice just damned Jeremy.
Yep.
And when Beetlejuice is done with that whole ordeal, he waits for the next customer.
Yep.
Next.
Let's not forget, Richard is covered with piranhas.
Oh, that's right, because he was in a piranha attack.
That's not all. By the way, Catherine O'Hara shows up too.
That is right, because we find out later that Catherine O'Hara's character, Delia, gets bitten by these two snakes
while filming.
While filming, they're basically They're basically being defanged, but is bitten by them, sending her back to the afterlife. When she arrives in the afterlife, she summons Beetlejuice to help her find Charles, to which he agrees if she helps him find Lydia. This is basically, making a deal, right?
Yep. Making a deal with the Beetlejuice.
Yeah, it's kind of like making, that's like, it feels like this is someone making a deal with the devil.
Yeah.
And like someone do something for, it's like, hey, you gotta do, it's like someone saying, hey, I'll help you do this, but you gotta do something for me first. So it's like making a deal, right?
Yes.
You gotta do something first. Hey, I'll do this for you if you do something for me first. That's the deal, right? Yep. Like this is like in this movie, basically in this movie, this is basically they're basically Beetlejuice is basically kind of like the devil in this movie, right? But of course, we all know that Beetlejuice's deals get foiled.
Yep. Well, we'll get to that soon.
But anyway, yep. Lydia and Astrid arrive back, and Astrid apologizes for never believing in her mother's abilities. The duo then head towards the church for Lydia's wedding. So, yep, there is a wedding ceremony going on.
Well,
apparently it's not going to be Rory's wedding, because apparently Beetlejuice crashes the ceremony and injects Rory with a truth serum, which makes him admit that he had no romantic feelings toward Lydia, but only wanted to marry her for the money she makes from her show.
Oh, not good.
Not good. And he admits it inside the church.
Oops.
Whoops.
And of course, Lydia punches Rory in the face.
Yep. And then Beetlejuice reminds everyone about his proposed marriage to Lydia, and they go on with the ceremony, only to be interrupted by Wolf and his army of officers, and Beetlejuice freezes them all. Also on top of that, the people at the ceremony get sucked into their phones.
Wow. I mean, I don't know how they did that, but hey, it's Tim Burton.
Yep. And then on top of that, there's a song going on in the background. I forgot the name of the song. Mike, you want to pull up the name of the song that was played in the movie?
Sure.
Yeah. So it's also a nice little detail too is that Beetlejuice and Lydia were wearing the same wedding outfits from the first movie. Like Lydia is wearing this red dress from Lydia is wearing this red wedding dress from the first movie, to which Beetlejuice wore the purple and white outfit.
All right, here it is. Dancing to MacArthur
Park. There we go. That's the song that they used. And while that's going on, Dolores just interrupts the wedding.
Yes, and They actually both singing. They were both singing. Beetlejuice and Lydia.
And I believe Catherine O'Hara and Jenna Ortega as well.
Yes, and I'm pretty sure they or Jenna Ortega was doing the dance sequence from Wednesday. Although I could be wrong.
Although let's be honest, it looks more of a ritual dance than anything, because Beetlejuice is the one in control.
Yes.
And until then, Dolores goes to exact revenge on Beetlejuice, only for Astrid to use the handbook to open up a portal and summon a sandworm, which Beetlejuice guides to eat Dolores and Rory.
Oh, I'm pretty sure Roy got what he deserved.
He got his ass kicked and gets his ass eaten by a sandworm.
Yes, and also they also did a bleep sound for Beetlejuice.
Damn, that's just rough.
Yep.
All right. Anyway, Beetlejuice wants to continue with the wedding, only for Astrid to reveal that the fact that he had illegally brought Lydia into the afterlife, thus making the wedding contract void.
Oh,
Yep.
The
deal's off then.
Yep. He literally crossed the line.
Lydia banishes Beetlejuice back to the afterlife as he is blown up like a balloon and explodes after saying the name Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. You know what's kind of crazy is that at the end of the first movie, where they try to like defeat Beetlejuice, they don't say his name 3 times to defeat him.
No,
they don't. At least at the end. At least at the end.
Well, in the first, let's not forget, in the first movie, he gets eaten by a sandworm, to which Gina Davis rides on it.
Mm-hmm.
But in the second one, he gets exploded after Lydia say Beetlejuice's name 3 times.
Right.
And especially the last line that Beetlejuice says, "I should have married in Las Vegas.
I should have married in Vegas." So anyway, Wolf and his crew become unfrozen, and Delia says farewell to Lydia and Astrid before making her way back to the afterlife, accompanied by Wolf. Delia reconciles with Charles just before he boards the soul train to the great beyond. Lydia films the final segment of Ghost House before deciding to retire the show to spend more time with Astrid, and the pair head to Dracula's castle in Transylvania, where Astrid grows smitten for an employee named Vlad.
Vlad? Wait, is it a Hotel Transylvania? Isn't that Hotel Transylvania?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So anyway, later in bed, Lydia dreams about Astrid giving birth to Beetlejuice's child, which is the same baby from that other scene.
Yes.
Which causes Lydia to wake up startled after a lucid dream of Beetlejuice lying next to her in her bed. So a nightmare within a nightmare. Oh my goodness. But anyway, Lydia lays in bed, petrified and all alone, and that's how the movie ends.
Yep.
That's it. That's the end of the movie.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. That is... So there you have it, folks. That's our breakdown on this movie. So, oh my goodness. Now, that was a fun movie. I'll admit, that was a real fun movie. Would you agree, Mike?
I would totally agree. This was a fun movie.
Mm-hmm.
And this film was originally going to be released on streaming service.
Oh yeah. Like, instead of going into theaters, right?
Yes. This movie was originally going to be released to streaming services, but I believe Tim Burton wants it to be released theatrically, because Warner Bros. Foreign Regiment considered releasing the film straight to streaming on HBO Max, but Burton butted heads with the studio over the film's cost and distribution. Warner Brothers was unsure on spending to project $147 million on a sequel to a 1980s film from Burton, who had not had a hit since Alice in Wonderland. Burton demands were granted once Warner Brothers motion picture group co-chairs and CEOs Michael D. Luca and Pamela Abdy were installed in their positions in 2022, who agreed to a major theatrical release if the budget was under $100 million. Burton reportedly spent $99 million, thus fulfilling the deal.
Wow. So the deal was fulfilled to have it be set to have it be played in theaters.
It was, and initially the film was supposed to be delayed to 2025 because of the 2020 SAGA after strike, despite most of the production having been completed. However, in February 2024, the producers reiterated the release date as well as revealing the official title. At their 2024 Center Era presentation, Warner Bros. Announced that the film would be released overseas on September 4th, 2024, 2 days before its domestic premiere.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
So it was finally released.
I'm glad it got released in theaters because because if that movie was not released in theaters, I don't think. I mean, it probably would do well with critics and audiences, but it would have made it would have made a lot of money.
But it did.
If it it would not have made a lot of money if it was just streaming service. I mean, it would probably get a lot of views, which obviously turns into money. But
But
when it comes to theaters, being released in theaters, you have the box office.
yes, and this was a hit.
It sure was a hit. Actually, here's something interesting. You know, the film was filmed under the name Blue Hawaii.
No.
Because I think one of the ideas for the sequel was to have a Hawaiian theme.
Yeah.
Like as if it was like Beetlejuice going to Hawaii type, a as if Beetlejuice was going to Hawaii, right? Interrupt the Hawaiian vacation. I think that was one of the ideas, but I think that idea was dropped.
Yep. But even though the sequel is very good, but the original one still holds up.
Oh no, the original one holds up a lot more. You could definitely, I mean, in our opinion, we enjoyed this movie. I think this movie is a fun sequel. Not as great as the first one, but this was a fun sequel.
I mean, Michael Keaton coming back to playing Beetlejuice was obviously the highlight of this movie.
Even Jenna Ortega was a pretty good choice to play Astrid in this movie, coming off of the Wednesday Addams show.
Yes, and of course Winona Ryder returning to the big screen.
Oh yeah,
I mean, that was a nice welcome return for Winona Ryder.
it did feel strange. It did feel like she's more, Stranger Things than Beetlejuice. Coming to think of it, she did have more of a Stranger Things vibe.
Yes, and this was actually one of her first films to return to the big screen.
I mean, that's true. Yeah.
I mean, she did appear in other film. She did appear in other films before Stranger Things.
But anyway,
But Michael Keaton, Tim Burton, Winona Ryder, Catherine O'Hara, and Danny Elfman alongside Colleen Atwood love their collaboration.
oh yeah, their collaborations are good.
And Brad Pitt actually did a very good job of producing this movie too, especially through his Plan B Productions.
Right. Right. So anyway, I think here's the thing. It's definitely a good movie. It definitely pays homage to the first movie a lot more. Although I feel like the story could have been written a lot better.
Yeah,
Because the story is all over the place. But where it succeeds, but where it does well. Like Beetlejuice, Lydia, and then of course you got the afterlife. I mean, among many other things, like the practical effects, the set designs, the music, like those are good. I like that. I like the set design. I like the costumes, the makeup. The makeup's pretty good. This movie should have gotten a few Oscar nominations.
yeah, but it got snubbed.
I think so. I think this movie got snubbed at the Oscars for a few categories, but it's not a best picture worthy movie, so to say, but it's still a fun movie to watch.
But also a nice welcome return for Tim Burton.
Yep. Also, the Beetlejuice's wife gets sidelined throughout the movie. Like this movie was gonna have, I mean, this movie had Dolores as the big bad of the movie, but she gets completely sidelined in this movie.
Yeah.
Like she's only in this movie for like 5 or 10 minutes.
I wish we could have seen more of Dolores.
I feel like, yeah, exactly. Why? How much of a big threat that Dolores was? Like she's exacting revenge on Beetlejuice after he literally killed her and supposedly killed her and chopped her into itty bitty pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Like, her entrance is really good. I really enjoyed her entrance and her soul sucking abilities too.
Yep.
Like she was basically a threat, but we don't. But the thing is, she's not. And look, Monica Bellucci did a good job playing Dolores, but I feel like the writers should have added a little more to Dolores's character. Add a little more. Make her more of a threat, right?
Yes.
I mean, her crashing the wedding is fine and all, but it's just like a last result. Like she's just there, right?
Yes.
She doesn't do anything. She doesn't even try to suck out Beetlejuice's soul.
No, she wants to take revenge.
Yeah, if she wanted, I mean, she doesn't even try to take Beetlejuice's soul. I don't get that.
Yeah.
I think that's the only thing I kind of disliked about the movie is that they sidelined Dolores. Of course,
Barbara and Adam.
But and of course, Barbara and Adam are not in this movie. I mean, yeah, I get it. They're a little they're old. I mean, yeah, I know they're probably a lot. Yeah, I know they aged, and of course, among many other things as well. But I could have they could have at least had us have a cameo, at least with Lydia. Heck, like a recommends referencing back to the first movie where Lydia has more connection with Adam and Barbara.
Yeah, it would have been.
Was it Adam, right? That's the name, right?
Adam and Barbara.
Yeah, Adam and Barbara, because Lydia in the first movie had more connection with Adam and Barbara than her parents, at least up until the end of the movie.
Yes.
I mean, it would have been nice to have those two back for a cameo. Realizing the struggle that she is having. Those two could have at least helped Astrid too.
Yeah.
That would have been a nice little callback to the first movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we didn't get that at all.
Nope.
But I feel like there were a lot of ideas going around for the sequel, but I was okay with this. But I was okay with this movie. I was fine with it. Do you agree?
I would totally agree.
But anyway, just to close this off, if I were gonna rank this movie, I give it an 8 out of 10.
I would totally agree.
I mean, despite the story being all over the place, it was a lot of fun. The acting is good, music is good, even the production design, the costumes, and the makeup were real good too. And I do love the B movie feel to it as well.
Yes, Danny. Let's not forget Danny Elfman's original score. I say Danny Elfman did a very good job composing the score, and of course coming back to collaborate with Tim Burton.
Mm-hmm. Rest in peace, Bob.
Rest in peace, Bob.
Mm-hmm. But other than that, I think that is about it. So there you have it, folks. That is our take on the Beetlejuice movie. So Mike, thanks for joining me on this episode.
Hey, you're very welcome. I really enjoyed collaborating with you.
All right. So anyway, that is a wrap for this episode. And to anybody who is listening to this on YouTube, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button for more content. And if you are listening to this on Spotify or Podbean, don't forget to hit the follow button as well. So there you have it, folks. That is our take on the Beetlejuice movie. So, what did you guys think of Beetlejuice? Did you like this movie? Did you not like this movie? Did you think this movie was okay? I would love to hear your thoughts. But anyway, that will be a wrap for this episode. Thank you all for tuning in to Codo Cinema. I'm your host, Bar Codo, aka Codoman.
And I'm Mike Codo.
Remember to watch movies, stay positive, and good night. Until next week.